Welcome to Stonewatch, and today we're talking about Scarlett Johansson sues Disney. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you're notified for future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, news has dropped earlier on today saying that Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney. Now this story comes to us from Deadline. It goes on to say, Scarlett Johansson filed a lawsuit against Disney on Thursday, claiming that the studio breached her contract by releasing Marvel movie Black Widow on Disney Plus at the same time it was released in theaters. The breach of contract lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court and takes aim at the new phenomenon of the studio streaming wars, day and date releases in theaters and on streaming platforms. The lawsuit claims that steering audiences to Disney Plus, the media conglomerate wanted to grow its subscriber base and boost its stock price. Yet that was at the expense of Johansson, whose compensation was largely based on the box office receipts. According to the lawsuit, while she extracted a promise from Marvel that the release of Black Widow would be on the theatrical release. And the article goes on to say that the lawsuit is claiming that the Disney top execs are going to make a lot of money because they're boosting up their stock by increasing their subscribers to Disney Plus. Now, I believe that's partially true, but I don't think I think if it wasn't for the pandemic, this would not be a thing. Now, I'm not saying that she's not entitled to sue because you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. And when they negotiated for this movie, originally COVID was not part of the conversation whatsoever. It wasn't even, because this movie was supposed to be released last year, right? Now what I don't understand, like, this pandemic has been going on basically for like a year and a half now, right? So I don't understand, like, if this lawsuit makes it sound like that they were taken by surprise. They've been talking about this for months now. Right now, I understand that she's pissed that she's not going to make the money that she thought she was going to make because, on average, most of your MCU movies average around $1 billion each, right? I mean, they made like $22 billion with 23 films. So that averages, on average, it was like $1 billion each, right? Even though like that was like towards the very end, like, because like the first MCU films weren't making that much money. They're making good money, but they weren't making the money that they were making before the pandemic hit, right? So I understand why she's kind of upset, because she would have got a really big payday. Now the article goes on to say that she looks like she was going to lose like close to like maybe $50 million on this. Now currently Black Widow is sitting with $150 million domestic and $160 million international, which gives it a grand total of like $319.4 million worldwide. Now they did report that they did make $60 million opening weekend, but we haven't heard anything since then on how much it's been making on Disney Plus. Like, they were making money, and now they're probably not making as much money, because they're also saying there's like, it's been pirated like you would not believe online. And I can kind of believe that, because you could see all the videos that they're making on YouTube, and people are using footage that you probably shouldn't be able to. It amazes me on how much footage people get their hands on. And I always kind of wonder, like, how in the hell did they do that, Now, this story originally dropped around 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 2 o'clock here over on the East Coast. Now, a friend of mine at work said, hey, did you hear about Black Widow suing Disney? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, yeah, there's this story that I was just looking at on my phone. It said that, that Scarlett Johansson was suing Disney. And I go, what about what? He goes, I don't know. I didn't click on the thumbnail. I just saw the title, and I figured I'd let you know about that. I'm like, oh, I'll have to go check that out. I had to go check it out right away because I wanted to see what was going on. Again, this dropped about 2 o'clock our time. So by the time I got home after work and I went to go double check on the story to make sure I had all my information correct, Disney has already fired back. Now, this is what they had to say. The Disney spokesperson said, there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in this callous disregard for the horrific, prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Disney has fully complied with Johansson's contract, and furthermore, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has already received to date. So they're basically saying that she's going to get some more money anyway, and they're already giving like a release date for like the Blu-ray and everything. Like, I think it's gonna be like in September sometime. They're gonna be already releasing it on Blu-ray, and then like you get to watch it for free on Disney Plus on October 6th, I believe the article said. So this movie is not going to make a lot of money. But again, I had that theater when I wanted to go opening weekend, there wasn't really a lot of people in that. Granted, I went to go earlier on in the day. I mean, it went like the first showing of that day, but there still was not a lot of people in the theater. So a lot of people probably weren't going to go to the theater. So that explains why so many people actually rented on Disney Plus and pay that extra $30. I'm too cheap to do that stuff. But then again, after you get ticket price and popcorn, I came close to paying $30, but I got to see it in the theaters, and I'm glad that I did. And I don't blame her for being mad that she's not going to make the money that she's going to make. But again, you got to take in consideration on what the hell is going on. So I don't know, man. Did you hear about Johansson suing Disney because she's not going to make the money that she was going to make on Black Widow because of the pandemic and everything? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you think that? I mean, she already made $20 million, and I don't know what her cut's going to be at the end when this thing's all said and done in its theatrical release. But it's like, that's still more money than I'm making. I mean, yeah, I know. Contracts are contracts. So this is an evolving thing because this story changed from like 2 o'clock to like 5 o'clock, right? So that was only in a couple hours. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next. So let me know what you think in the comments down below.